If you are shopping for a new home in the Denver Metro and your lender or agent mentions something called a Metro District, pay attention because this is one of the most misunderstood parts of buying a home in Colorado, and it can cost you thousands of dollars a year, and most buyers often don't see it coming until it is too late. So today I am going to break down all of what a Metro District is, how it works, the pros, the cons, and exactly what to ask before you make an offer. So what exactly is a Metro District? Metro Districts are independent governmental entities formed to finance, design, acquire, install, construct, operate, and maintain public improvements that are not otherwise being provided. So basically think roads, water lines, sewer systems, sidewalks, parks, trees, trails, communities, amenities. All of those are part of the Metro District, and they add yearly taxes. So here's the thing to understand. When a developer builds a brand new community, especially a large master plan neighborhood, somebody has to pay for all that infrastructure. The roads do not appear by magic, the parks, the trails, the street lighting, the water and sewer hookups, all of it costs serious money. A Metro District is a financial mechanism that pays for it. According to the Colorado Association of Home Builders, public infrastructure typically adds $30,000 to $40,000 to the price of a new home. Rather than baking all of that cost into the purchase price up front, Metro District spreads it across homeowners over time through property taxes. And this is not a niche situation. There are over 2,300 Metro Districts statewide, and 87% of all new homes sold in the Colorado Front Range in 2023 were located within a Metro District. So if you're buying new construction in the Denver Metro, there is a very good chance you are buying in one. So here is how the mechanics work, and I want to make this as simple as possible. So when a developer forms a Metro District, they issue bonds, essentially a loan, to pay for the infrastructure up front. Those bonds are then repaid over time through a mill levy. This is a property tax assessed on the homeowner within the district's boundaries. So Metro District taxes represent 25 to 45% of the total property tax burden in Front Range communities, and they can persist for 20 to 30 years while the bonds are being repaid. And that's not a small number. And unlike an HOA fee that can fluctuate based on votes, the Metro District debt service remains fixed until the bonds mature. As a helpful benchmark, some Metro District fees run approximately 1.1% of your home's estimated value annually. So on a $500,000 home, that's $5,500 per year, or roughly $460 per month added to your effective housing costs. That's real money, and it needs to be factored into your budget before you fall in love with a floor plan. So now let's talk about what you actually get in exchange, because Metro Districts are not all bad. They exist for a real reason, and they deliver real value when structured properly. So pro number one, move-in ready infrastructure. You move into a fully developed community with completed roads, parks, and utilities. It's not a construction zone, and that is genuinely valuable. You're not waiting years for the neighborhood to fill in around you. Pro number two, amenities you would not otherwise have. Residents of Metro Districts enjoy greater amenities such as pools, parks, trails, while paying higher property taxes. This system ensures non-Metro District neighbors are not burdened by taxes to pay for amenities they might not use. Pro number three, the cost is spread out over time. So rather than absorbing $30,000 to $40,000 in infrastructure costs in the purchase price of your home up front, that cost is spread across 20 to 30 years of property taxes. So Metro Districts shift this cost burden by financing infrastructure projects through bond proceeds repaid by the residents over a designated period of time. Pro number four, disclosures are required by law. So by law, home buyers must receive Metro District tax information as part of their disclosures when they go under contract to buy a home. including the amount of property taxes that will be owed annually. So you will not be blindsided at closing if your agent and lender are doing their jobs. Now, the honest part. There are real downsides here, and I want to give you a straight picture. So con number one, higher property taxes for a long time. This is a big one. Metro district taxes can run significantly higher than comparable non-district properties, and it could take 20 to 30 years before the bonds are fully paid off, meaning you will be contributing to these taxes for an extended period. That affects your monthly budget today and your resale value tomorrow, because buyers looking at your home in 10 years are going to run the same calculation. Con number two, limited control over how the money is spent. The funds collected through Metro District taxes can only be used for specific infrastructure projects laid out by the developer, which may not align with all the residents' preferences on how the funds are spent. Con number three, developer control in the early years. Metro districts face criticism for taxation without representation, since developers control the boards when major debt discussions are made. Yet for future residents, bear the decades of tax burden. By the time you move in, the financial decisions that affect you for the next 20 to 30 years may already be locked in. And con number four, it affects your buying power, because Metro district taxes increase your effective monthly housing costs. They directly impact what you can qualify for on a mortgage. Your lender will factor property taxes into your debt to income ratio, and so a high mill levy can meaningfully reduce the price range you qualify for. So the question I get a lot is, what is the difference between a Metro district and an HOA? And can you have both? The answer to the second question is yes, you absolutely can have both. And in many new construction communities in the Denver Metro, you do. Here is the key difference. An HOA is a private organization. It handles things like enforcing community rules, maintaining common landscaping, managing shared amenities. Its fees are typically a separate monthly or annual bill. A Metro district is a quasi-government entity. It handles public infrastructure, roads, utilities, and parks, and its fees show up on your property tax statement, not as a separate HOA payment. This helps explain why Metro district fees appear on your property tax statement rather than on a separate monthly bill. So when you're budgeting for a new home, you need to account for both and make sure that you're not comparing an HOA community's cost to the Metro district community's cost without understanding what each one actually covers. So before you make an offer on any new construction home in the Denver Metro, here are a few questions that you need to get answered. One, is the property in a Metro district? Your agent should know, and if they do not, check the disclosure documents or contact the county assessor's office. Number two, what is the current mill levy and what is the maximum allowed mill levy? The current rate can change over time within the limits set by the service plan. And three, how long will the Metro district debt service last? You want to know if you're looking at 10 more years or 25 more years of elevated property taxes. And four, is there also an HOA? And if yes, what are those fees on top of the Metro district taxes? 5, what does the total annual cost, mortgage, Metro district, HOA, and insurance, compared to similar homes outside of the Metro district? Sometimes the math still works in your favor, sometimes it does not, but you need the full picture before you decide. Metro districts are not inherently good or bad. They are a financing tool, and like any tool, the outcome depends on how it is used and whether you understand what you are signing up for. The Denver Metro has thousands of homes inside Metro districts, and plenty of buyers are happy there. The ones who are not happy are usually the ones who did not fully understand the costs going in. And my job is to make sure that that is never you. If you're shopping for a home in the Denver Metro and want to make sure you fully understand all the costs before you commit, reach out and I'll walk you through the numbers and make sure that you're making a decision with your eyes wide open. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you soon.